morning. This is Franco with Trading Futures Live. Welcome back to another pre-market analysis live stream. Here we will check on the assets and do the pre-market analysis in order to come to the trading session in a better shape, better fashion, and see what we're gonna trade today. All right, so this is a schedule for today. Economic news. We will check the US dollar, the yen, the yields. We will check the VIX. Crude oil and metals. Crude oil is a very key market to watch. ES, NQ, and RTY. And I will just review Apple. I won't. All these three charts are similar. Apple, I think, is the most influential stock to the market. So I want to check Apple. All right, let's jump right into it. All right, here we do have the investing.com economic calendar release. We did have a jobless claim earlier. It was better than expected, 232,000 against 248,000. It looks like a good unemployment news is bad for the market, that give the Fed more room to work with the rate highs and so on. So I think yes, good unemployment claims. I think it had some sort of rejection to the downside. Yeah, a little bit, not much. The market has been sideways since Asia session. We came back and now we're holding right there. Then we have manufacturing PMI. That is going to be a 945. So that's not the one that I want to pay attention to, but I do have ISM manufacturing PMI at 10. So let's set an alert together. Economic news 957. There we go. 3 minutes before the news, I want to know. Then we have natural gas storage, and we have member Bostic speaking, but in the afternoon. All right, so with that, let's jump right into the dollar. And the dollar has been going up big time today. This is the 4-hour chart. Let's go to the daily. If we see the daily chart, we're coming out of this demand created 4 days ago. I think it was Friday. Yes, and we keep going up. Now, I don't see this week as a potential good supply. If you go to the lower time frame, yes, it caused this movement to the downside, but I don't think that week will hold, right? And the fact is that we don't have a strong leg out. We haven't broken all this area of sideways movement, right? Where I do think there is some supply is at this green line. After this green line, we are going to encounter a supply from the 2002, I guess. Yeah, 2002 September, right? Exactly 20 years ago. So I want to be very careful, because after this week, if we don't have a huge rejection to the downside, now we do have another right here, but that's like 2% above. For the dollar, that's a lot. That will mean more pain in the market. All right, so this is a 30-minute. I'm paying attention to this supply. If we have some sort of reversal, we might have some sideways movement here in the market. Now, the market is turning a little bit oversold right now. Um, we've been down for 5 days already. Um, so we need to pay attention to that too. The market goes up and goes down. It never goes down or up in a straight line. So it moves in stairs, right? All right, so that's the dollar chart is in supply. Even though it's been very strong, I want to pay attention to it. If we start to see some rejections, then we might have some sideways movement or even a bounce. So because of the market being oversold, I start to be careful with the shorts. Right? I don't want to be shorting at the bottom. Right? I want to be shorting at a high extreme. Right? Well, all will depend on the internals as well. All right, let's go to the yen. The yen very quick. It hasn't moved at all. If we see the daily, still in the same demand. Very choppy movement. So it's a neutral bearish right there. Let's go to the bond yields. A very interesting chart here. I have this white line because I do think the bond yield has some resistance right here about 3.273. If this thing start to come back down, we might have some relief on the market, relief rally on the market. But since the yields are still, they have some pressure to the upside, the market is repricing all the assets. And all has to do with the risk-free rate, right? And all rebalancing of positioning of institutions. So I do think we have some sort of supply or resistance right here around 3.78. If we continue to go up after this point, like 316, I don't think is much, because this is not a supply per se. So we gotta go back either 2019 or 18 to find a supply above this level, 3.5. I think it's more like a psychological level where the people start to sell yields here or buy bonds. So if yields are going up along with the dollar, that's not a good combination for the market. All right, so let's keep watching here. All right, let's go to the VIX chart. Same thing. We were expecting for this thing to come back to this pivot, but it didn't start to a continuation to the upside. Now, we haven't had any sort of explosion other than last Friday, right? Probably the market is waiting for the unemployment numbers tomorrow. I don't think we will sell off today as well. The market is very oversold right now. That doesn't mean it cannot continue to go down. It certainly can. I think it'll hold till tomorrow, where the real news is. So the VIX has some room to go up to like 29, 28.92. But we're trading within the range of Tuesday still. If we have some sort of breakout to the upside here, next stop for me is 29, and then we will see with the unemployment numbers, then the NFP, to see what's the reaction when the VIX is around here. All right, let's go to crude oil. Very interesting here. Crude oil is being very, very influential in the S&P. XLE and all the energy stocks are very influential in the S&P. So crude oil has been coming down. Now is at this pivot. Is this pivot the best time to buy? I wouldn't buy here. My demand is around 82, but this pivot is gonna do some is gonna cause some buying pressure right here. Buyers are gonna try to defend this pivot, um, but we don't have some sort of a leg out, like a strong leg out to the upside, and I want to show you what a strong leg out is. Sorry about this. This isn't a strong leg out. See that? We come back, we explode to the upside. Um, we don't have that. It's very shallow movement. I mean, when I say shallow, from 92 to 97 is 5%, but we certainly had a lot more volatility these days, right? Um, and also, we do have this massive down day. This was from 103 to 95. This is around 7 to 8% movement, or 9%. This is causing a lot of the selling. A lot of sellers here are continuing to sell, right? So that's why we haven't broken this high. That's if if we happen to broken this high, I do have this another massive sell-off day. It was 111 to 97. That's even higher, probably like 11 to 12% of selling, and it's not casual. Like if you see, this is where we bounced to the downside 3 days ago. Okay, so that's crude oil. I do think if buyers are capable to defend this, we might go back to 105. If not, which is the more likely scenario, then we have 82. All right. Let's continue here. Metals. I just want to point out that metals are dropping with the dollar strength. There's not much here. I think they will continue to come down because of the dollar strength. So that what that means is that people are selling these assets to jump into the dollar. The dollar is acting like we're gonna have a sovereign crisis or something. The dollar is been very, very bullish. All right, what's going on here? All right, this is the NQ chart. Let's go to the ES. I do not trade the ES myself, but I like to see where the levels are, right? And we did have this strong pivot. It was not the strongest one. I said it yesterday. The strong pivot for me is this one. This one is a strong pivot because we were in a downtrend, and then is where buyers started to show up. Then the sellers continue to sell off here. Then buyers stepped in to just beat the sellers up, right? So this pivot where we're at is a very important level, right? If buyers are able to defend it today, we might have some upside tomorrow. But if we just break down, I do have the demand right here at 38.78. I know is far, but that's my higher time. This is my high time frame demand. I do not day trade the ES, but I want to pay attention to what it's doing because the NQ also move in tandem with it. All right, so this pivot, very important. Where we're at is important for buyers to defend this pivot if we are gonna continue to an uptrend. If not, most likely that the sell off continue, right? And I do have several stop within this sideways movement, right? This consolidation area, it has a lot of demands along the way. This is the first one that I have high quality. Then I have another one right here, but we're very far All right, let's go to the NQ. For our chart, and I wanna say this. This is very important. This is the same pivot on the ES. We already tried to defend that. Now the Nasdaq has been weaker, right? So we can see how this pivot was already broken and we are going back to the demand. Now, the same demand in the NQ is the same demand that I point out on the ES is 11,900. We're approximately 300 points away from there. But if we don't defend this pivot, like I said on the ES, we're gonna go back down to probably these levels, 11,500. So I think if the dollar continues to go up, everything is set up just for a reversal. The dollar is just breaking highs, meaning it could encounter supply, right? And the markets are back down to a rejection point. Here, the sideways movement that changed the trend, and we had a nice rally of 15 to 20% on the Nasdaq, all generated from this area. So we want to pay attention. If the bulls are dominant in the market, I want to see some rejection either today or tomorrow, right? It is right now, guys. If bulls are gonna step in, is right here. All right, let's continue. RTY, similar chart, but RTY actually hasn't gotten to this pivot. Actually, the RTY is holding better, right? Buyers buy. I mean, is selling off, but we haven't gotten to this point, right? So I think the RTY is the one that has more room to come down up to this area, and we'll see when RTY comes to this point if we are going to reverse or continue to sell off. Same thing, guys. This the high quality demand for me is 1778. This is a long time frame demands, by the way. All right, let's go real quick. I just want to check on Apple. We were saying yesterday, and let's go back down to the 30-minute. We were saying yesterday Apple is going to open up in supply. We had this pivot. If we reject that, we might have some downside, and we already filled the gap. So I think the more continuation is coming for Apple. We have this pivot, the same pivot in the equity markets, right? But I think the demand for Apple is around 155. So we might sell off a little bit and then hold. Now Apple is saying more downside. Apple doesn't say that the market is going to hold right there. So it's yet to see. Apple has a lot of influence in the market, so I do pay attention to it at all times, and I will be watching it during the trading session. So that's all for my pre-market analysis. If you have any suggestion, just throw it in the chat or shoot me an email so I can do more content for you. Okay. See you guys all in 10 minutes. Thank you.